Which Avenger are you?
Which Avenger are you?
I don't know. I have to take the
Which Avenger are you test?
yeah.
Which Avenger are you?
The one that the test tells me I am.
I'm I don't know who I am. I never know. Oh, hold on. I muted the wrong thing. I don't know who I am. That's what I just heard over. Yeah. Hi, YouTubers. Here we are. It's your favorite folks, Todd and Noah. Back again. I gotta fix my camera. Hold on. Totally professional, as always. That didn't fix it. Now I just look like a midget. Whatever. I invited CJ. Paul is not going to make it tonight. CJ has been invited. When CJ shows up, he will be joining us. But we are going to get started. As you can see, Noah's in a darker room. I'm in a very bright room. That's what's going on so far today. No, you gonna.
Yeah, I'm just give me a sec.
We appreciate everyone watching right now. Feel free to chat with us via the chat on YouTube. If you want. If you don't want, then do it anyway. Say something mean. I'm good with that. So Noah, how are you today?
All right. Worked. I don't know.
Wait. Did you hear it?
Hear what? I hear nothing, so.
Okay, it looks like CJ's joining us now. He invited us to a meeting. Or he invited me to a meeting. So I invited him to a meeting.
Oh, fuckface.
Come on. Watch your language, please.
Stop. Ow. Just got stabbed in the back by my cat.
Please watch your language.
I apologize. Yep, sorry. Okay.
This is funny. Anyway, I don't know. I'm hoping he's going to join us. He called, but he needs to actually. I got an incoming call and it said, oh, now he's in the waiting room. I don't know how long he was waiting. So, CJ.
Hold on, he's connecting. There he is.
You hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
There he is.
Let's go.
Oh, we were just bad mouthing you and everything when it was my fault. How long were you in the waiting room?
Just a couple minutes. I still got to figure out the Zoom stuff a little bit better.
It's all right. We're
okay.
We are who we are. That's why we have
That's right.
so many viewers.
I gotta say though, that beard is coming in nice.
It is. It's coming in real nice. I had an important meeting today, so I had to actually use some stuff on it. So that's why it's a little more
put together.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Yeah. So
sweet. Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
me too. So how's it going?
Good. I haven't seen you guys in 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
So happy to be back.
Good. So as you know, Paul's not joining us today, so it's just the three of us.
Yep.
We're gonna have some light conversation about some hockey. We'll talk about how baseball's back, and some other stuff. Noah's gonna start with the intro, even though we've been talking on YouTube for a while now.
You think we can dedicate this one to Paul's father or what?
Yeah, definitely. Paul's father. Raise a glass.
Right.
And we're all thinking about Paul. It's
exactly
sad day for him. So my cat is climbing all over everything.
Now you have cat problems. Ha!
Yeah, but I didn't swear on live YouTube.
Okay, well, you also didn't get stabbed in the back with a very sharp claw, so.
No.
I have a similar cat problem, except she's a 3-year-old human being that climbs on everything regardless anyways.
All right.
Kids are great. So,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I remember those days. Just wait till they turn 23.
Oh, goodness. Can't wait. My sons, I'm excited for when they get older so they can do more work. My daughters, on the other hand, I'm like, stay as young as long as possible.
Yeah. It's also nice to be able to just kind of kick back with your son and just kind of be like watching some sports. I'm sure, that seems kind of sexist, but it is kind of cool to just be able to, talk a little bit and have some sports time and father-son time, and father-daughter time versus father-son time. It's a little bit different.
So. Yeah. My son, they're 9. I got twin 9-year-olds, and I'm telling you, they can almost name every football player from every team. If he's halfway decent, they'll know his name. They'll know where he played for every team. It's incredible. Like, I don't remember having that kind of passion for it at 9 years old. You know what I mean?
Gamers?
Like, they love playing games. They love doing all that too. But even when so this is what they do. Whenever there's a new season, right? So whenever there's baseball starts or hockey starts or football starts, they switch it. So football's over, whatever, they go right into hockey. Hockey's over, they go right into baseball. And it's just, so they'll switch it every couple months. It'll be this and then this, and you know what I mean? So they get real into it every season. They switch what they like,
Yeah, definitely. I'm very familiar with that. But that's why they know all the players, because they're always playing them and, drafting whoever and whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
So
sure.
But that's fun.
Yeah.
To be able to have those conversations. And Noah and I used to play NCAA, or Noah used to watch me play NCAA.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I think I had that. I had the last one that came out. Yeah.
What was it, 14 or something?
Yeah.
Oh, then mine was way older than that. I had like a 09, I think, one before that. Maybe not.
The last one was 14 with Denard Robinson on the cover.
Oh. I had a guy with USC guy. I was on the cover. Trojan. I can't think of who it was.
Reggie Bush.
I was going to say Liner.
Or Vince Young.
I think it was Young.
No, he was with Texas.
Oh, then it was. Oh, I'll find
Matt Liner, like Noah said.
Yeah. I'm gonna find it right now. Just because
it's critical now.
Yeah,
right.
We've
been guessing, so
we need to know.
Let's see.
Denard Robinson. That's
Remember when everybody thought he was going to be like the next thing, and he wasn't at all?
They have like
then
3 different guys. I don't understand.
Huh. 3 different could be versions, maybe.
Yeah. But no, I remember watching. Speaking of Denard Robinson, I know it's a little bit off topic, but
everything's on topic. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think anything's off topic today.
Was it him that did that like insane 6 touchdown game or something crazy like that? Wasn't that him?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
I remember watching that game,
and I'm
when
he was with Michigan. Yeah.
Yep. I'm like, he's this guy. You know.
Yeah, right. That's right. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody thought when he came into the league, and then it was like, nope. Not even close. And then he switched to running back, had like 2 good games, and then got beat out the next week. So
Yep.
It's the nature of the beast. It's going to be a tough year for the draft because you don't know as much. It's tough to scout. No combine, no anything. Yeah. So
you got pro days, right? I mean, that's about
that's it. And the thing is all those times are unofficial because you're having the college coaches they've worked with for 3 years, right? Timing their 40s.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my 350-pound lineman just ran a 4.1.
So everybody's faster this year. How does that make sense?
Yeah,
everybody's running a 4.4.
It's the fastest class in history. Yeah. So let's kick into the news since Noah's not going to do the introductions, but
it's episode 17.
17 for Gameday716. We haven't updated the website since episode 14. Deal with it. Whatever. We're working on it. We're all a little busy right now. So, but some website changes are coming. Really exciting times.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be good. So ready for the news intro?
Yeah, jump in.
All right. News. Okay. So in the news, baseball is happening. Did you see the perfect game last night?
Yeah. I feel so bad for him. Like for it to get broken up because he hit him. I saw a tweet though that said that there's only in the history of baseball, there's only been 5 no-hitters that were broken up because the guy was hit by pitch. And the most recent one broke up that way, and the one that happened before it broke up that way. Or I mean, perfect games were broken up because they hit by a pitch. Like it was nuts. I thought that was wild. It was like, and then like the one before that wasn't from like until like 1980 or something.
Wow. Yeah. Do you know his story, Rodon Story?
No.
Of the pitcher. So he's had something like 3 surgeries on his shoulder over the last 3 years, and he hasn't pitched since 2018. He's pitched 42 innings since 2018. So this was like his first outing in an extremely long time. And then, so it was like a fairy tale kind of thing, even though he did hit the guy, but sometimes that's necessary.
Yeah.
In other baseball news, baseball is happening. I am not following it at all right now. It's April 15th, so Buffalo is getting snow this weekend. So when there's snow coming, it's not baseball season yet.
Yeah.
At least that's my feeling about it.
How about it's not baseball season until the Blue Jays come here?
True.
Now, did they say that they're coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Bisons are moving to Trenton, and the Blue Jays are coming up from Dundon.
When did they release that, or when did they say that?
A couple days, sometime within the last
recently.
week. Yeah. They just made it official
5 months ago. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I specifically remember looking it up, like, are they coming this year? And I think it was more recently, and they hadn't said whether they were saying that they had a few different places in mind of where they were going to go after Florida. I think they're in right now, maybe, but
yeah. But back to Buffalo, that's where they want to be, and who wouldn't want to be in Buffalo? So
I know exactly.
In the NCAA, they passed a new rule for transfers, allowing them to transfer once without sitting out for a year and making them immediately allowed to play. How do we feel about that?
Okay, so the prior, what was it prior? It was you had to sit out
a year. Yeah.
And then you could play.
I love it.
But you were granted an extra year of eligibility, but you still had to sit out that year. But now you don't have to stay in college for an extra year. You could just play right away.
Yeah, I think it's better for the players.
Better for the players. Better. You know, I like that it's only transferring once, you know, because you have some players now who have transferred like twice within using the transfer portal. I think
Tyler Murray was that way, and Justin Fields. And
a couple of guys transferred a couple times from multiple places and moved around. So I do like that they just made it once and that kind of thing without sitting out a year. And then if you want to transfer again, then you have to sit out the season and make, so you really better make it worth your while if you're going to transfer, right? Twice if you're going to transfer again, I guess. So yeah.
What was the reasoning for them sitting out a year? Did they ever say like why they would make them sit out a year? Like why that was necessary?
They were trying to reduce transfers, basically.
Oh, make it okay. De-incentivize it. I got you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they want to keep the players at the school. So, you know,
right.
Continuity, all that stuff helps. Yeah.
Well, not even that, but the schools can then profit off of them.
Right.
Because like, I mean, UB a couple of years ago when everybody was really good and they made it to like the bowl and went through the MAC, had like everybody transferred out of there.
Yeah.
2 years ago. So you know that happens all the time for schools like those smaller schools. So
keep them.
It was right.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I was thinking like the first thing that popped in my mind when you said it was anything that like takes control, or not control, but like anything that favors the players as opposed to, you know, the NCAA in general, I would favor the players. You know what I mean? Because I just always looked at it as just a huge, it's a word I'm looking for. Just a huge, like, taking advantage. Yeah. Taking advantage of the players and, you know, profiting off them. And I've just always looked at that as, you know, I didn't like that. So.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. No, I mean this is the move. This is the right move for the NCAA for once. Like,
well, you know, the only thing against it is you're telling the players, right? And I think this was another reason why there wasn't, or why there was the 1 year in place. They were trying to hide or pretend that these are still student athletes. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the other part, you know, if you stay at your own school, you're actually a student athlete, and now you're making them free agents, basically. And so if a guy doesn't like where he's at, you know, or I don't know, if he's failing classes at whatever, at a higher at Michigan, right? Who's requires higher, he can go to Ohio State and, you know, get who has lesser requirements, or, you know, Clemson, and get snuck in by Dabo, or, you know, whatever. So
and take like basket weaving. Like
right, exactly. So
write the letter A. Like,
Right. Yeah. Handwriting and linguistics.
Yeah.
Write in your grade and I'll just give it to you and you don't ever have to come to class.
Yeah, it's like that Saturday Night Live skit. Like, what's wrong? Did you watch Saturday Night Live last week, Noah?
No.
CJ, either of you?
No.
They had.
I think our generation is kind of over the Saturday Night Live thing, but
I'm.
Well, no,
No,
I'm saying for you guys, I feel like guys a little bit older than me, like everybody loves it, but you know, it kind of like the production quality kind of dropped off for a good amount of time when I was younger. You know what I mean? It just wasn't as good. Now you go back to the greats with I know we're getting off topic again, but we go back to the greats with Sandler, Farley. You know, those were great times to watch, and then it kind of stalled for me after that. You know what I mean?
Interesting, because they had I think they had a really good cast when they had like. All those guys, you know who I'm thinking of. Like are you talking like the Lonely Island guys and like Jason Sudeikis?
Okay. Yeah.
I
wasn't sure if you're talking about like the group like Tina Fey and like Fallon and Poulter.
Well, I like Fallon, but to a point. And I didn't really like Fallon. Everyone liked Will Ferrell though, and I was never a huge fan of Will Ferrell. But
everybody loves him.
You know, he kind of carried the show during that era, and then you had the next set, who I thought sort of revived it, and you still have Keenan on after 18 years, which I think is awesome. And you know, I think he's been doing sketch comedy since he was 5 years old or something.
Yeah, that's like nostalgia right there. Watching, you know, because I just remember all that and Keenan and Kel, and those were my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I was a huge Mad TV fan. Like I liked Mad TV like a little bit better than SNL. I don't know if it was just because the skits were a little bit more out there or what.
Well, it wasn't live, right?
No.
So they were able to make
fine-tune it.
Yeah, a little more fine-tuned.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. SNL's tough too, like right now during COVID and stuff, because you know they have to, you know, maintain all of the cleanliness and that kind of thing. So commercial breaks are twice as long, you know, and that kind of thing. So if you're not watching it, or you're just not watching the skits like next day, or you're not watching it through like DVR, then it just feels like it's taken forever.
Yeah.
You know, for each skit to come out and that kind of thing. But yeah, no, I mean, I like the current cast. They have a lot of young talent. And give it a try. It's not bad. Right. It's not bad.
The thing that I do is like I won't watch every episode, but like if I like the host, I'll watch it. Like I'll never miss a John Mulaney episode. Like I will, if he's the host, I will never miss a show with him on. Like
the last episode though was awesome. Carrie Mulligan was the host, and she was surprisingly good, and the sketches were really good too. So
I don't like her, so but I'll watch it if you say it's good. So.
It was good. It was real. It was, like I said, surprisingly good. You know, I wasn't expecting a lot going in, but she was good, and the sketches were of very high quality compared to the last couple of weeks, especially. So, the moving forward in NFL news,
I just realized Carrie Mulligan was not the girl from Miss Marvel, so I thought that's who that was. And I'm wrong. So
no, she's great. I love who Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Brie Larson.
Yes, Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Brie Larson. Yeah, I love her. But...
I thought it was her at first, and then I'm like looking through the movie. I've seen the movie Drive that she was in. That was a good movie. But
that
Gatsby, I guess.
Yeah.
That's where my hatred grew from her, was watching her in The Great Gatsby, because I had like this different interpretation of Daisy, and I felt like she just ruined it, and so now I just hate her. Like,
I didn't like her in that movie, really. Like, I just didn't like her character. You know what I mean? Like, not that she was a bad actor or nothing, but like,
it's like, well, yeah, she was written with getting off topic still, but like she was written with so much depth in the book, and then I felt like she brought no depth in the movie. And like, I don't know if it was just written that way, and that's like what they told her to do, or if that's just the way she thought. But I was like, you didn't really do anything for her character.
I think the dynamic was more about the Tobey Maguire,
they
DiCaprio relationship, in the movie, just because they were bigger stars at the time, So that happens in movies all the time. It drives me crazy. It's the Harry Potter issue.
Yeah.
I know you guys just talked about F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I just talked about J.K. Rowling, but to each their own. No, Harry Potter.
I mean, the ideas are similar. Yeah, I mean,
I just, they need to remake them and make them darker.
Oh wow, yeah, I've been getting into a lot of those recently. Just watching videos online of just kind of them explaining backgrounds of characters and everything like that. And the book definitely does a better job of giving depth to the characters.
Yeah. I read every book to Noah. So like,
oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. When they were coming out, like we were so excited every time a new book would come out, because I would get to do all the voices and read and
that's cool.
All that stuff. So yeah, it was right. It was right at the right time for him. So I have a Harry Potter thing. You'll see eventually you'll see a Ravenclaw banner back there, because that's my jam. I'm a Ravenclaw apparently. So I took the quiz. So
I gotcha. Yeah, I was reading all that stuff just about where like the four beginners, right? So the four of the guys that created it, and then obviously her being one of them. And I even like get into it so much that it's like I can explain to you the Horcruxes and where they come from and which ones what's his name used. And she had I don't know if it's a necklace or something. Yeah, that he used as one of his Horcruxes, and that's that's explained in the book a little bit better, but in the movies and stuff, they kind of fly through that stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they're like, okay, this is what we're gonna go do. Boop!
We're hunting Horcruxes. All right, we're done hunting Horcruxes.
Right.
We've done that already.
Right. We'll spend 3, except they spent three of the movies basically hunting Horcruxes and just walking.
Hunting the necklace,
walking through land. That kind of thing. I think the first half or all of 7, part 1, it's just them walking through the forest and like looking through for a Horcrux.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They don't get in the movie. They don't get the necklace until like the very end.
Right.
I'm just like, and then it's part 2, and then it's like, oh, we found the rest. Okay.
Yeah, then we're stabbing the other one.
There they all are.
Right. We spent a good 2.5 hours showing you just finding one and carrying one the entire time and trying to figure out how to destroy it. Then that happens. And then, all right, time for the final battle.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. No. Still, good story. Good books, way better than the movie. But when it's rare to not say that. So
yeah, exactly.
Every once in a while though, there's a movie that's better than the book, but it's rare.
All right.
So the Cleveland Browns signed Jadeveon Clowney. Does that register on the radar? Like,
I think it does.
Sack. He didn't get a sack last year.
The Browns also offered him a 3-year, $57 million deal last year, and he said no and took the 1-year deal with the Titans.
Wow. And then did the 10 and got 10 this year.
Right.
8 really. It's an 8 with $2 million in incentives. So
he's got to play to get those.
Yep. Maybe he needs to get a sack this year.
Has to get 2.
And then did you see the Alden Smith went to Seattle? Yeah, that's a good one.
That.
Yeah,
he played well last year.
It said that they actually tried to sign him in free agency last year, and he opted to go back to Dallas.
Yeah, which was probably smart for him, like mentally and just to get back into the game and everything.
I mean, if you look around the locker room and you say to yourself, well, I'm probably the best guy on this team defensive wise. You know, like, why not? Like, let me show everybody what I got. You know what I mean? Then they'll want me. Like, if I go to a team that's got 4 studs on it, I'm not going to shine. But on this team, I'm shining. You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, Van Der Esch was hurt all last year too.
Yeah.
So.
They were they
couldn't stop the beach ball. So like,
yeah.
All right, so it registers, but not.
It was interesting. He said that this will be the first time in his career he'll be playing opposite somebody on the line at his position where he won't be getting double teamed, and he thinks he'll actually have an opportunity to get sacks this time because he says he's never played against another dominant defensive end, and he was on the Houston Texans.
Ouch.
Who's he? He's referring to Garrett.
JJ.
Yeah, Garrett.
Oh.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, the slight is at Watt,
right. Because
it's like
I get it.
He's probably going to go into the Hall of Fame, and you're just like,
nah,
he wasn't good enough. He sucked. Like,
well, is he talking about pure edge rushers, or is he talking about D linemen?
He's just talking about on the line. He said in his entire career, since he's been in the NFL, all he's been is double teamed, and he thinks Cleveland will be the first place where he won't have to experience that.
Man, if you couldn't go to Houston and eat, you know what I mean, with those guys on the line, I don't understand where you think you're going to go that you're going to be able to.
Right. Completely agree. So Aaron Donald beat the heck out of a guy in Pittsburgh.
I wonder how it started. That's what I want to know. Like, was it like, oh, you guys are trash. Like, Rams are terrible.
Right.
Pittsburgh's the best.
Go Steelers. The guy pulled out his terrible towel and
that's what I'd be thinking.
Threw it in his face or something.
Probably has nothing to do with football, but that's
right.
Like,
he didn't even look like the same guy after, like before and after.
Oh, the face. Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
I was watching a video. I was watching one of the streamers I watched, and they were talking about it, and it's like the guy who got beat up. Like, did he not know that was Aaron Donald? Like, Aaron Donald's 6'2" and is like almost 300 pounds of pure muscle.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't think for like a second, maybe it's not a good idea to antagonize these guys. Like,
yeah. I swear I heard something one time where it said, now I could be wrong, but I swear I heard something that said he could bench press like 600 pounds. But like,
I think it was deadlift.
Okay. But still, like, I would.
That's still insane. Like,
yeah.
That's like almost 3 times my body weight. Like,
yeah, it's like 4 of me. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1.5 of me. But hey, to each their own.
Still a lot though.
No, I'm not that fat. But yeah. So.
Well, you would be if Aaron Donald tried to bench press.
That's true.
Almost 2 of you. So
that's true. Sticking with the NFL signed a deal with Caesars Sports Palace, DraftKings, and FanDuel to make them all the official sportsbook partners of the NFL.
Wow.
Of the league. So continually getting into the gambling realm is the NFL, which is good because we all know they're short on cash already. So this will be good for them.
And one of the stadiums that had the sports book inside of it, like, made an astounding amount of money.
Oh, the Pagulas want to do that. They're building one, I thought, in KeyBank Center already.
I thought maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure they are.
I vaguely remember hearing about that. Yeah. I think that might be
and that they want to do the same thing, I guess, at Highmark Stadium. But
Highmark.
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Highmark. But the Pagulas are all happy about having gambling involved because
just wait until New York State legalizes mobile sports betting.
Yeah. That'll be crazy.
Yeah, you'll want to
especially
invest
in the Buffalo
in
in the Buffalo area. Holy cow!
be a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a thing that said Pagula moved into one of like the I don't know. Now this isn't really going to matter, but it was some important number for rich people in the world. Like he used to be worth only $50 billion or something, and now he's worth 54 or something like that. Or maybe it was 5 billion and it's 5.4. That would make more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they said their income has gone up, which surprised me considering, you know, what they've been doing with the Sabres. But I guess when it comes to the Bills, they've been spending like crazy. So,
well, my question is though, is why come out and say about associate GM or whatever? Is that what it is? Assistant or associate? Okay.
He's associate.
Right. Why come out and say that the reason that you're hiring him is to streamline and to make things more economically, I don't know, what was the word he used? Like economically capable, I guess. Make things like less financially
efficient.
strained. Yeah. So like that's what it came off to me was like, yeah, we're doing too much and we're spending too much money, and you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's what they did last offseason, and then they just fired everybody.
Yeah.
And we're like,
yeah, but you know what? They get a bad rap for that because a lot of teams did that, and it just, it just. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're really gonna keep like your workers who work in the food things on payroll?
Okay, but I wasn't even talking about that. I mean, they don't have scouts in Scandinavia or Russia.
I know that. I mean, that.
Their head of the scouting department, I think, is also like the head of the analytics department. Like they gave multiple titles to people to consolidate like positions. It's like they went to like a workshop once that like talked about like streamlining and efficiency, and they took it to like the extreme. Like,
yeah. They drank the Kool-Aid or whatever.
Yeah, they went lean. So.
Like our first time GM definitely doesn't need somebody else. Like, yeah, he's got it.
I know I'm probably jumping the gun on this, but let's do this all to streamline and let's be more efficient and make all this money. But then when we trade players, let's keep half of their
exactly
what we owe them. Like that
helps salary.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. We'll get there. Don't worry.
I know.
And
I know.
So the NFL draft, in happy news, the NFL draft is 2 weeks away. We'll be having our jam-packed draft episode next week. We're going to have 8 guys involved, assuming we can find 4 more. Every person will represent 4 teams, 2 from the AFC, 2 from the NFC. It'll be divided up very nicely. So I was thinking of giving everyone a division, but then I thought that would be unfair to whoever gets the AFC East. So
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I hear you. I feel like nobody should really be that upset, and you got to look at it as holistically as an experience as opposed to one of us feeling that way. But
yeah, I just decided I'm getting the Bills. So I mean, it just came down to that. So, and I don't want the Patriots, so it's that simple.
Gotcha.
So yeah, our big bonanza is going to be next Tuesday.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun with that. So moving forward into NBA news, 15-year very good player, LaMarcus Aldridge, retired today due to an irregular heartbeat that occurred in the last game he played. He was with the Nets after being let go by San Antonio, bought out, nicely by San Antonio. So he could go play for the Nets, but he had the irregular heartbeat and said, you know what, not worth the risk. Dame Lillard in Portland said that they should retire his number 12 in Portland. He was a huge part. He was a huge part of that organization for a long time.
Yeah.
But still, that surprised me to hear him say that. Because he's been gone now. He's been gone now for a while, though. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, I think that has to do. I mean, when Lillard came into the league, I mean, they became best friends. So I think that also might have to do with it.
I didn't know that.
But I mean, Aldridge still, though. I mean, before Lillard even showed up, what, like you said, was still a very integral part of that organization. I mean, they didn't really win anything big while he was
still
there.
Haven't.
But I mean, well, right, but. I mean, you were right about that Hall of very good. I mean, at bare minimum, that's what you'll see is that his numbers just retired at Portland. But I don't think he gets much more than that.
Yep. It's the Steve Tasker argument that I have.
Yeah.
But we won't go there if anyone believes that he belongs in the Hall of Fame. So,
Buffalo Hall of Fame.
Exactly, he belongs on the wall. And he is. Look at that. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Right where it needs to be.
Yep. In NHL news, JT Miller of the Canucks, who have been battling COVID, like no team has battled COVID this year, came out and slammed the NHL, saying after their 2-week break that putting the team back on ice right away is not the best idea for the NHL to have done. His exact quote was, to expect our entire team to be ready to play in one practice and one pregame skate is a little bit hard to comprehend. The NHL then fined Miller, but they also then postponed the next 2 Vancouver games. So I guess his criticism had some weight to it.
Back that fine.
Whatever. The NHL needs to make money, right? I don't know. We know their owners like the Pagulas.
They did what he asked for. Why are you fining him?
It's for conduct detrimental to the league, right?
Except they did what he was talking about, but whatever.
Right, but his conduct, the way he could have talked to a coworker instead of talking to the press.
Oh, okay.
Right? Don't you take those things at work?
You got it.
Yeah.
You take those tests at work that are like, what are you supposed to do if if you hear Tommy talking about shooting up the office, and it's like,
I'm snitching on Tommy. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, not to make it that dramatic, but I definitely have been let go of places before because I've gotten into it with customers, right? Mm-hmm. And so the manager on duty will say, go in the back, you know what I'm saying? And I can go blow off steam in the back and talk to whoever I want in the back. Sure. But I have a hard time of hearing somebody talk about me without me being there to defend myself. And so I have to consistently go back to the guy and while he's talking and say something to him. And honestly, you just got to let it so I get it. And that's more or less, I guess, what they're trying to say.
Yep. It happens in every league too, when players come out and talk to the press negatively about the league. I mean, it happens in the NFL is all over that. They'll find anyone for saying anything negative. So, now we're gonna stick with the NHL. Actually, the
Sabres update 1-0. Sam Reinhart scored.
Oh, good.
Oh, and Kyle Okposo got hit in the face by a Matt Irwin dump-in and probably broke his nose and was taken off the ice.
Oh, great.
He'll be back.
They said he was gushing blood.
So sometimes
he tries so hard. That's the thing I like about him. When you see him on the ice, you know he's trying, you know he's putting in the effort, you know, trying to be an example, all of those kind of things, you know, and you know he's a good guy and that kind of stuff too. And you also know that we're stuck with him. So, you know.
Right.
So, well, if he only broke his nose, he'll probably be back in the game, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's his nose. They just said he got hit in the face. And the Capitals just tied it up with 22.5 seconds left. So
was it Anthony Mantha?
No, it was Orlov.
Oh.
Tokarski's in net, so we're probably going to lose. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many games has this guy played in the NHL in the past year or whatever?
like
I feel
3. Like
yeah.
Yeah, it's been however many he's played with the Sabres. And
I mean, he was in the ECHL, and then they
Okay.
were like, and then the taxi squad thing happened. So then, like, you need
Yeah.
a certain number of goalies on a taxi squad. So then they had to call him up to Rochester because they had to have like Johansson, I think, on the taxi squad, and
Right.
so they didn't
Okay.
have enough goalies in Rochester, so they had to call him up from the ECHL. Then they trade Johansson. Hutton gets hurt, and they don't want to pull up UPL yet. So this is the next guy up behind Allmark. And then Allmark gets hurt, and you're stuck with Michael Hauser and Dustin Tokarski. So,
but UPL is playing this weekend, so
yes,
we're looking forward to that.
We want to get
Big prospect. I don't know if you know who he is, CJ.
No.
Okay, he's a big. It's all right. He's a big prospect for the Sabres in goalie. He's been playing in Rochester,
and they're expecting first round or.
When was he taken? I don't think he was a first round pick. No, he's been playing in Rochester. So they're calling him up and he's going to play this weekend. This should be his first NHL games, I think. Sweet. Or did he play some? No, I don't think he did.
I think it'll be his first as a starter. I don't think he's played a game as a starter.
Gotcha.
But I think he's played as a backup because they either pulled the goalie ahead of him or he got hurt or something.
Yeah.
So I do remember him playing and then him letting like 4 goals in. Like,
oh, he's probably going to do that too. I mean, he hasn't been good at Rochester, so.
Yeah. Well, that Rochester roster also isn't.
Right. Could be worse though. They're honestly not terrible. Well, considering half of them are in Buffalo, but speaking of Anthony Mantha, the trade deadline was 2 days ago, and Anthony Mantha was probably the biggest name to move, or one of the biggest names. He got traded from Detroit to Washington. Nick Foligno, famous Buffalo last name, got moved from Columbus to Toronto. Hayden Fleury from Carolina to Anaheim. Jeff Carter from Los Angeles to Pittsburgh, and Taylor Hall got traded from Buffalo to Boston. So, yeah, a lot of interesting salary things that haven't happened in the past with teams with 3-way deals and teams picking up a percentage of other players' contracts to make up to help people fit under the cap and that kind of thing. The Sabres just chose to pick up 50% of the contract and they didn't do a 3-way deal. Right. And Boston is $29,000 under the cap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the Chiefs. Like,
right.
Yeah. That's like managing your money well, though, to me.
Yeah. It's efficient.
Well, that's what people were saying with the 3-way deals. Like, can we have whoever the accountant is on the third
right.
team like manage my money too? Like, thanks. Like,
yeah.
Can you guys just take some of my debt? That would be great.
Yep.
And figure out how to not make it that anymore.
Right. So the Taylor Hall signing never seemed to pan out.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
Yep. So my Hall or Nothing t-shirt got some good use.
Well, I got a game, that first game where he scored 2 goals.
Where he scored his goals of the season.
Right.
Well, I was reading an article the day that said that in the beginning of the season there's a video recording of Pagula going into I want to say maybe the GM at the time. And it was one of the beginning of the season, but right after they got Hall, and Pagula goes in and he goes, okay, so this guy, now we're going for playoffs, now we're going for Stanley Cup, yep. And I want to say GM that was in the room at the time was like, yeah, you know what I mean? And so
that would have been their current GM. It would have been Adams.
Right. Yeah, it was. And so And so, you could tell in his voice and the response that even with Hall, he clearly wasn't over the top and thinking that we were going to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? And so I think that kind of shows what was expected in the beginning of the season as opposed to what we expected. You know what I mean?
And maybe different expectations between different members of the club. So maybe that's why the Sabres hired
25-7.
Maybe that's why the Sabres hired Jason Carmano as assistant GM. And in a press conference today, both Adams and Carmano said that the decisions from here on out will be made together. So
they've worked together before.
The question was to Adams. It was about like the role that Jason was going to take on because nobody knew what associate meant. And he was like, is Jason below you or above you? And Adams wouldn't answer that. All he said was decisions from here on out will be made together with them together. So I thought that was interesting to hear him say that he won't say, I am the GM. He is the associate. We are not on the same level. It basically, and he was like kind of wishy-washy on where that stood, and then was like, but the decisions will be made together. So I think that kind of sounds like actually Caramos is here to help him.
Carmanos comes with a bunch of experience and way more experience than Adams. Carmanos will serve as the Rochester GM. He'll oversee scouting, player development, and analytics. So I don't know what Adams is going to do.
Make bad trades.
No, you know what? I mean, he'll focus, I guess, on the NHL side, right? So
yeah.
Right, he'll write the name on the card at the draft. That'll be his contribution.
Right. Carmano spent the last 6 years in the Penguins organization. He was their vice president of hockey ops for 3 seasons before he was named assistant GM and was fired in October when Jim Rutherford was fired.
Yeah.
Okay. He was part of the Stanley Cup winning teams in 2016 and 2017 as an executive, not as a player. And he was an executive with the Hurricanes in 2006 when they got all of the Sabres defensemen injured and the Hurricanes won the cup. So that must be their link, would be the 2006 Hurricanes.
And Pittsburgh with the Pagulas. So.
Right. I mean, but Carmanos and Adams would have been linked through that. And so.
Well, he had another team come after him that he was talking with and that he was negotiating with, and he was excited about the opportunity to fix Buffalo.
Well, that's good. That adds another piece to my idea that they're going to hire Rod Brindamore in the offseason as their head coach.
Get the Carolina group back together kind of thing.
Well, Brindamore has been great for Carolina, but they
haven't
signed him to an extension or anything. So I see.
I think it'll depend on what they do in the playoffs. If they're able to get past the second round and go far again, then I think they'll re-sign him. But if they're first round exits or second round exits, they might go, you're just not going, you're not getting it done for whatever reason. That's my hypothesis on why they haven't offered him yet.
Makes sense.
I mean, they almost got to a cup and then they lost. And even though it was in 7, but then the year in the play-in, they lost in the second round, which was technically the first round of the playoffs. So,
right.
Carol, and the thing everybody's been saying about all the like Drager and Friedman, all those like NHL insider guys is like Carolina wants the cup. They're like, we built the roster.
Yeah,
Go win us the cup.
Yeah.
They have. So maybe if they're, I don't know, maybe if Brind'Amour doesn't do it, they just let him walk and say, well, fine, we'll take Bruce Boudreau or something. I don't know.
Right.
Or Don Granato.
Assistant. Like, yeah. Right. Granato.
So we got a question in the forum. We got a question in the forum asking us if we see Ovechkin winning a second ring.
If he, I can see it. I mean, Washington still has a good roster. They're not super old yet.
Right.
They're all not really old yet. And I mean, Ovechkin can still score and still plays really well. So I mean, I would say within the next 3 years, as long as he doesn't take like this huge, massive drop off, which is very possible it could happen because he's in his mid-30s.
It won't happen.
It would be fine. He'll be fine. I think they'll definitely win another one. I would say within the next 3 years, I can see it.
Ovechkin's going to play for at least the next 5, so he can beat Gretzky's goal record. If he can hang on with that or close to his rate of scoring, if he can hang on and the NHL ever gets it together to where they're back on schedule, I think Ovechkin can pass that record. He's actually fairly close to doing it. So he's fairly close to doing it in the sense of how close you can be to Gretzky in any record. So
right, because he needs like 5 straight 50-goal seasons or something.
Yeah, something like that, or 40 goals, 40-goal seasons.
Yeah, so
something like that. Still, yeah, he still needs like 200 goals or something. But it's.
But for him, he's close because those seasons are normal.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So people are thinking if he plays another 4 or 5 years, it's a possibility that would put him at 40 if he played 5 more years. So that we'll see what happens from there. Yeah. I'm rooting for him, actually. Yeah. I'm rooting for him to win another ring or another cup, rather. Well, they give a ring out too, don't they? I don't know.
Yeah, they win another. They give rings.
I'm rooting for him to win a cup, and I'm rooting for him to break Gretzky's record just because it was a record no one thought could ever be broken. So, it's kind of like the Babe Ruth home run record, except Ovechkin's not on steroids, to our knowledge.
Well, if he was, he would completely shatter the record like they did with Ruth and Hank Aaron's and stuff.
Yeah. So, Jack Eichel has been placed on IR for the rest of the season. He with a herniated disc in his neck. Which is painful. I assume.
Sounds like it.
Have never had it, but they shown clips of the game where he got it, and he did not look happy. And I remember watching that game, going, "There's something wrong there." I think I texted you when that happened. No one said he hurt his neck.
When did they say that happened?
The Islanders game from like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've been saying since the beginning of the season that he looked off. Now I don't know.
He had a lower body injury at the beginning of the year, and then he hurt his neck, and he's been out ever since he hurt his neck. But he was playing hurt before.
Yeah. I mean, the way his shots were missing the goal. You know what I mean? It's not usually how he is, right? So that kind of made me feel like something was going on. It was just like hitting the crossbar or hitting the sidebar or just missing by a little bit, but they were missing. You know what I mean? And so I remember that specifically early on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I learned something recently on Twitter from Chad DeMonicus that there's like rumors outside of, well, it's in Buffalo, but it's more outside of Buffalo that over the offseason, Jack Eichel went to rehab for a drug problem, and him being put on IR actually isn't for his neck injury. It's because he wanted to remove another rib.
What?
Yeah.
Wanted to remove another rib.
Yep. That he already, when he was placed on IR the last time, that was the reason why, was because he had a rib removed. And he did hurt his ribs, and that's why he got hurt. But everybody thought it was because he had surgery to have a rib removed, and now this time he's on IR again to get another rib removed. And that over the offseason he was in rehab because he had a drug problem with coke. Like, I'm like,
people have drug problems with coke? No, I'm just
I 100% believe that. Yeah.
I was like, okay. I was like, that's a weird thing to like.
Hot take.
Yeah. A little too hot, I think. But,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was just having fun with it. And then Kevin,
I gotcha.
The Kevin guy who like NT Rider or something.
Oh yeah.
Commented and he's like, well, only one of those is correct.
Yeah.
And he was playing with everybody, and then he was like, "No,
that sounds great. I'd love to hear your Twitter reviews." So
yeah, I was gonna say let's put fake news on our news fucking segment. That'll work.
We'll do that. We'll do that going forward.
Let's really throw people off. You know,
yeah,
just make up stuff. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, it'll just be an affiliate of Fox then.
There you go.
Woo.
Nice.
Hey, Julian Edelman retired.
Question.
Hall of Famer.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, not first ballot though. Not first or second ballot, probably.
Thanks. That's what I think.
I don't
eventually
think so.
Get in.
If I'm being honest.
I don't think so.
My question is, are they back to square one as far as now? I know they made a bunch of offensive moves, right? But without him in the offense, I kind of felt like those moves won't have as much of an impact as they would have had he been on the roster still. What do you guys think?
I think who's his top receiver now is Nelson Aguilar, right?
And Nikhil Harry.
Well, those guys don't impress me that much. That's why I
not at all. I mean, when you think of that, I've said this a couple times. I think Cam is going to have a bounce back season because I believe in that second season free agency in the same system kind of thing where you improve. You generally see that in a lot of players, especially players who have played in the same system for a long time, like Cam had. So,
especially a quarterback position like that.
Especially in Belichick's system, because like we know
that too.
that offense is hard because we've there have been former players who are
it's Brady's offense.
I know, but I mean, you've heard from former players, like players that left New England and like on both sides of the ball that are like, that's one of the hardest books, like one of the hardest playbooks I've ever had to pick up. Like, I feel like you've heard that from a handful of guys.
For sure. So is he a fantasy sleeper next year or what? Is that what you're saying?
Cam?
Yeah.
Maybe in a 2-quarterback league, like you guys are going to join our league. So,
I'm excited for a 2-quarterback league. I used to do one. It's great.
It is. It's a lot more fun, and IDP players as well.
That's what we did in the one. We had 2-quarterback IDP, and that was how I got into fantasy. And honestly, like I've never been in one that was as good as that one.
Wait till you see our scoring. So
great.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's by far the funnest league I've ever been in. So
sweet. I'm pumped.
And our next goal is a dynasty league.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. All right.
we're
Well,
gonna
get
do
there.
that
Let me get a
eventually.
good team first, and then you can do that. Okay.
We all have to start on the same page if we're doing a dynasty. So,
Oh, okay.
But finally, the Sabres have 12 games left, including today.
Point. Including today.
Including today. So really 11. And since Don Granato took over, they have a point in six of the 14 games, which is
actually significant. Like,
which is sadly.
No, it is.
I was doing the math and was like, this doesn't sound good, and I was like, well, like,
right.
actually.
But
yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I feel like they're almost to the point. I read some earlier again, and I feel like they had said that before he had gotten fired, the amount of points that we've gotten in this short amount of span of time since he was fired is like they're not even really comparable. Like we've got a lot more points in this short span than we even had with him in a much longer period. You know what I mean?
That would make sense. I mean, they have 10 wins and 7 overtime losses.
Yeah.
So
when Kruger got fired, they were in the middle of that 18-game losing streak and had only 4 wins on the year. 6 wins.
I don't know. It was bad. So, I mean, yeah, Granato has done well. I hope they do a full coaching search, though. And don't just jump at him because he's done well. I think it's easy to be an interim head coach and just let guys kind of flow, especially on a terrible team.
Yeah, because look at the Blues.
Right. Right. And Montreal isn't, or are they? I don't know. Whatever. Either way, look at Montreal as an example. And I have no idea how they're doing in the North. But so, yeah, I just hope they do a full coaching search and hire Rod Brindamore, to complete the Deathly Hollows or something.
Really brought it full circle there.
I did, right? That was my goal.
It's 2-1 now. Victor Olofsson.
Let's go.
Hey,
that was unassisted too.
I might wear my Sabres jersey tonight.
All right.
I got a hoodie on. I don't know.
I have my Gameday716 t-shirt on underneath my sweatshirt, and I forgot to, switch, but it's there.
And that Olofsson goal was 5-on-5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy for him.
Yeah.
He's just raising his trade value. That's all.
Yeah. Speaking of trade value, they were saying how low what's his name's Hulls was before we traded him, just how much it had tanked throughout the season.
Yeah. I've been in a couple arguments about Hall and what the Sabres could have done and should have done, and who actually had the power there. And just because he had a no movement clause to me doesn't necessarily mean he held all the cards and that kind of thing. Because
he literally didn't, but
no,
But the Sabres flat out said he has a no movement clause, so it's his right to go where he wants to go. And it's well, no, not really.
Like it's his right to say, I want to go here.
Right.
But
I don't understand why we're putting a player that we're getting rid of, putting his needs and wants ahead of the organization.
Right, because they did have a better offer from the team in the West, according to Elliot Friedman. So, but they sent him to the Bruins because that's where he wanted to go.
Yeah, that's what they
allegedly. But I can have this argument all day and get frustrated about it. Because I think it was bad general managing in my opinion.
I saw. I don't know if either one of you guys were watching TSN, but on like their trade deadline coverage. But one of the 18 former GMs that they have on that show, so our chat can go figure out who said this, but he said that the same thing happened to him, like one of his first years in the league. Like he was in the exact same position that Adams was. A player had no movement. A player was like, I won't accept a deal to here. And he's like, I did it. He's like, I did what Adams did because I was that naive and he used the word naive. And he said, I was as naive as Adams, thinking the same thing, that a player's no movement could hold any weight in my trade negotiations. And he goes, after that moment, he's like, I realized later on how bad that trade was, and he goes, and I never let that happen again.
Yeah.
Like I never let a player do anything like that. And that was my thought was the same thing. I hope he learns,
It's almost like trade them and then let them deal with it. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I don't want to say that, but like if he really doesn't have that, then okay, well, then deal with that after he's off our roster. And,
or I mean, to me, the hammer that you have as the GM is okay. You can stay here.
True. True.
Is it truly
very good point?
An NHL second round pick has probably a 25% chance of actually.
That seems high to me too. Yeah. That seems like
generous,
what I mean, though? But yeah.
And so, you could just say, it's not worth it. It's not worth that kind of collateral. So we'll just keep.
It's not the NFL where you consistently can get good talent in the second, even third. Whereas it's not like that at all.
And especially this season where it's not a deep draft. And there's no clear cut like number one where you would want to build collateral. And even though you'll probably have the first pick or the second pick, but there's no clear cut number one, and there's no like anything. And all like 8 of the top 10 players are defensemen this year. And you already have a stockpile of defensemen, of young defensemen, and that kind of thing. And it's like, does that second round pick really matter? I have no clue. And to me, it's like you could have just pushed on Hall and said, open up to this team in the West because they're willing to make a deal, and they were it was apparently a contender. So
it was a good deal too.
Yeah, that's what
much better deal.
That's what Friedman said. It was much better. So, hopefully he's learned his lesson. You get rid of Lazar too, who was under contract for another year, and you take on a guy with double Lazar's salary for 2 more years. And it's just like, I don't know.
Who's not as good. Like either
right that's what I mean. I would rather have Lazar than
you're getting rid of a solid fourth liner that knows his role, can play his position well for a 23-year-old who has 2 goals on the season and has like 30 points in his last like 160 games. So it doesn't make sense. To piggyback on your Hall point, I was listening to Shope and the Bulldog afterwards, and they made a good point. Was like, if you're Adams, first of all, you should have pushed back, because what you say to Hall is, do you really want to sit here in a team that's last in the league where you're not scoring? You're not gonna. It's like we're not going to the playoffs, so you're on a 1-year deal.
And we barely score 3 goals a game. So how many goals do you think you're going to get? You're
not a 1-year deal.
You're not helping your stock. And if you're going to sit there and tell me you don't want to play with Gabriel Landeskog and Nathan McKinnon on your line instead of, Sam Reinhart and whatever, Riley Sheehan. Then
Cody Eakin would have been a good choice to sub in there too.
Yeah,
the 2 worst players on the team.
I don't mind Sheehan, but he has actually played on that line. So, with like Reinhardt. So I think that's why I said that, but let's see. Anything else we want to talk about? Because we can wrap up.
The lead is 3-1. Casey Middlestat, shorthanded.
Middlestat
Got an assist from Bork.
I'm wearing my jersey tonight.
York.
That's York. So that's 2 points in 2 games for Bjork since he's been traded.
Oh, he's on a point per game.
Yeah.
I'll get you a jersey.
That works.
I mean,
well.
hey, Adam said,
he's
he
opposite.
brought him in to help him improve, and up his game.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Look how quick that happened.
Exactly. Hey, if he turns into a point per game player, I'll give Adams a reprieve.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Any parting thoughts, CJ?
Nothing off the top of my head. I don't know.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Noah?
We appreciate you for coming around. We, that usual stuff, but outside of that, no.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Good.
Late show today.
Yep. We can see the darkness behind you. You kind of look like a vampire.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And
Well,
do you
okay.
have lights in your house? Or
Okay, but
Are
here's
you
the
in
issue.
Are you in a high school cafeteria and
Right?
it's off right now and nobody's there? Is that why it looks like that?
But here's the
it's
issue.
like a
because
Buffy the Vampire Slayer
this
episode or something. Like,
Yeah.
This is where the light is placed. Did you
Oh.
want me looking like Jesus the entire time?
Oh,
you know what?
it
That
shows
would
your
have been
fresh
okay.
haircut, dude. I don't know, man.
That would have been all right.
I don't know. I just remember the one time we did it, and I could never find the right angle in this.
You had the halo.
and all it was, but you couldn't see the strips right here.
Yeah.
So I think it would have been worse if it was still light outside, because it would have literally looked like I had God's light shining from behind me on my back.
Well, you know what? You can just talk more slowly and gently when you have that kind of light with you, and just try to get your point across, and we'll just believe you,
right?
Because it's just how things are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like something that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It's got light behind it. So.
Because he said it like that.
Yeah. And he has the halo, so it must be.
Sure.
Yeah. No, this was a fun show, guys. I really appreciate it. CJ, always good to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, as always.
Yep. Happy birthday, Noah, yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The big 2-3. Tomorrow we'll get your car fixed. Yeah. So
Wow.
good times.
I remember when I was 23 years old, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I won't say how old I am, because I am Noah's dad, so you could probably put at least some math together. And
Yeah.
I did have him when I was 13, but
13?
So 13, yeah.
This number's gone down since I've met you.
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You met Mom young, huh?
Yeah, dude. You did.
Oh, who you think is mom? I have to have a talk about. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, good.
But-
Yeah, on the podcast live though.
On the podcast. So, son, a day after your birthday,
Our own version of Dr.
the
Phil.
person that you call mom.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
And
actually
react.
adopted.
Yeah.
At 13, I adopted you.
Right.
All right. Fun as always.
Yes,
Fun
sir.
as always. This was nice keeping it light, not getting too dark in this one, not or political or anything, which we don't have to do every time. So good to show our viewers that.
Right.
Okay, we'll talk soon. And thanks again. Make sure all of you tune in for our draft next week.
Extravaganza next
That's
week.
right. Yes, game day extravaganza. We'll come up with a
name. A better
game
one.
day draft day 716
Day.
So, 716 day. Yeah. All right.
There you go.
There we go. All right. Take it easy, everybody. This was fun, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Hold on, we're still on YouTube.
I know.